On this episode of the Layover Live, Grant stops by to talk the periodic table of PPC.
Okay, first element is hydrogen. Second one is helium. Then we have the...
Grant, we are 99 episodes into this. 99. Do we really need to keep doing the little introductions?
I mean, I thought they were kind of funny.
No, not funny anymore. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 99 of the Layover Live, where we bring you the top article from the Layover each week. I'm Jason Swick, VP of Digital Marketing, joined by my friend Grant Stoltz. So Grant, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Episode 99, we're almost a century old, Stoltz.
Really? Yeah, a whole 100 years, 100 years old.
Pretty exciting, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of exciting to talk about this week's periodic table of PPC. It's an article that comes from MarketingLand, which is really cool. And the reason why I wanted to feature this one this week for our 99th episode is the fact that PPC has changed dramatically from what it used to be. It's much more complex now. There's so many elements involved in it. And what's nice is that Search Engine Land historically over the last 10 years has kind of had their periodic table of SEO elements of how you want to be successful on that side of the fence. But now they've created one of the paid search sites. So let's talk a little bit about what they're offering on this side of the fence, Grant, and what exactly is this paid search elements chart they are presenting to us today.
Yeah, so kind of like you mentioned, it's a neat thing that they've done with the SEO side, where they've done a periodic table where they break down each element of each campaign and what you need to do to be successful from an SEO standpoint. But like you mentioned, now it's in the realm of PPC, or pay-per-click advertising.
Right.
And it really does a full gamut of everything pay-per-click that's out there right now.
It is. It's pretty comprehensive. It's very impressive, actually.
Yeah, it goes everything from paid search, some of the more complex placements like on shopping, display, Gmail, you name it, that any sort of pay-per-click platform that they're talking about that's out there right now, this delves into it a little bit, more specifically talking about the Microsoft advertising and Google advertising platforms, but breaks it down much like a periodic table where each element of a campaign, of the platform, what you need to do to be successful, also some toxins they call them to avoid. So really a pretty holistic view of what exactly the paid per click search space is, and also just a good primer for anyone who might be looking to learn a little bit about more, or also just kind of tune up some of the campaigns they might have running now.
Yeah, and for DMOs out there, they're doing a lot of this stuff in-house, even for on the SEO side of the fence with our team here, having the periodic elements that they have on the SEO side, they keep it as really a kind of print out by their desk all the time. It's really, really handy to have. If you're doing PPC in-house, it's really, really cool to have this there as a handy tool, or just to better educate you on your conversations with your agencies, so you know kind of like what is affecting paid search and how we should be approaching these things. So then with this then, Grant, who is really the target market then for this download?
Yeah, like you mentioned, kind of there's pretty much everyone can gain something from that. Whether it's someone who is brand new to the world of marketing, has no idea about what pay-per-click is, this is a great primer for that. But for someone who maybe is a little more involved in the marketing industry but may not be a pay-per-click expert, this is a great way to kind of delve into some more of the smaller facets of pay-per-click advertising that may not be thought of on a top level. But really, I think the value there is for people who are either talking to a paid search agency, a pay-per-click agency working alongside of them, to be able to have more educated conversations, or those maybe who are beginning also, and maybe even intermediate as far as their pay-per-click proficiency as well.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. If we want to expand on that, how can then viewers get started in the world of pay-per-clicks? I know as all of us, we should be trying to grow our skills. If you're on the SEO side or the web marketing side, you might not be as versed in this. So how can viewers get started then in the world of pay-per-click if they want to do that?
Yeah, definitely. So the great thing about all of the pay-per-click platforms that are mentioned in this article are publicly available, that you can go on to Google Ads on the Microsoft advertising and start running an ad today if you want to, with the proper credit card and authorization and all that fun stuff.
Natural.
But that's maybe not the best way to delve into it, to just jump in head first and start spending money. So this is definitely a great way to get a primer on what to look for, how to structure campaigns, what to do manually, what to allow artificial intelligence that's built into these platforms to handle for you. So really, I think the best way to get started with pay-per-click is to research the platform, figure out what your end marketing goals are, and then figure out what you can use on these platforms like Microsoft Advertising, like Google Ads, to be able to accomplish those goals. Like I mentioned, there's a ton of different methods that you can use pay-per-click for across these platforms. So really, it's figuring out which one meets your marketing goals, what platform you can then place that media on, what the messaging is. But I think then once you get to that point of ready to pull the trigger on some pay-per-click advertising, that's where either reaching out to an agency who can handle that for you, or also just reading a lot of the documentation, the certifications that are out there. Again, these are publicly available platforms, so if you want to do it yourself and kind of roll your own, then hey, that's totally fine, and you can now get the education you need online to be able to execute on these platforms.
Yeah, there's a ton of great resources. Google has a ton of great resources online, and there's a million other places to look at this. I think it's a really good point you make there, in the fact that, you know, as we're starting to grow our skill sets, if anything, these platforms are becoming more and more complex for you to educate yourself to be able to have those better conversations. And your common theme of it always starts back with your goals. What are you trying to accomplish? We should always start with that, and then find the right platforms that make sense. If we're looking for more traffic, or we're looking for helping some remarketing or some increased conversions, pay-per-click is a great source for that. So Grant, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in each and every week. Again, it's our 99th episode. Please keep in mind that next week is Thanksgiving, so we will not be here next week, but we're coming back that first week of December, and we got something real special planned for you for our 100th episode, so stay tuned for that. If you're not subscribed, please do so now. We're also available on podcast with Spotify as well as iTunes. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time after the holidays. Have a great day.